Contract Thinkers. We will be having a series of lectures on contract thinkers. In previous lectures, we had explained the concept of Jean Bodin, and the last lecture we had explained or we discussed on the criticisms or the faults in the concepts of Jean Bodin. And the contract thinkers, there are three thinkers. The contract thinkers are three. They are Thomas Hobbes, John Locke, and Rousseau. Today we will discuss the social contract of Thomas Hobbes. Rather, we are going to start the social contract of Thomas Hobbes, and today we will discuss why it was important to sign a social contract and how the social contract was signed according to the Thomas Hobbes. First, need for social contract. According to Hobbes, the the state of nature, the conditions of state of the nature were intolerable, right? They were not good people, or the man is by nature a great person, man is by nature great, and he is not having good habits, and because of that they are not doing justice with each other. So the state of nature is not a good nature, or it was not a good system, so it was impossible to left indefinitely. So what should they do? So, and it was is sheer necessity to make a civil society for security, because in state of nature there was no security. So it was very important to make a civil society where security should be guaranteed. And what they did, there's the people or the men consent mutually, and through this mutual consent they surrender their natural rights to a commonwealth or a leviathan. And the purpose of surrendering their natural right was to gain security, because they were unsecure in state of nature. So what they did, they made a consent, and according to that consent they surrender their natural rights to a common superior authority, and now this superior authority was responsible to maintain security in society. After surrendering their natural rights, they were secure, right? So this was the necessity, this was the reason why a social contract should be signed, or why a social contract was signed. This is the first reason, that's the state of nature was intolerable, and making a civil society was very important, and hence they mutually consent and they surrender their natural rights to a commonwealth. Now the establishment of commonwealth or leviathan. The signing of social contract create a relationship between commonwealth and people. When the people sign the social contract, they surrender their natural rights and give all authorities to the commonwealth. Now the commonwealth become the sovereign and the people become the subjects, and a relationship developed between commonwealth and people. That was the relationship of master and subject, right? Commonwealth was the master, or commonwealth become master, and the people become subject. A relationship of master and subject developed between commonwealth and people. All people agreed to obey the sovereign or leviathan. Once they signed the signature, now the people agreed, and now the people are bound to obey the sovereign. And the sovereign was not part of the contract. That is, the contract was not binding on the sovereign. This clue made the sovereign with absolute powers, right? This clue gave the sovereign absolute powers, because the sovereign was not the part of the contract. The authority of sovereign was final, irrevocable, inalienable, and indivisible, right? Because it means that the sovereign has the final power. He has the final decision making power, and this power is irrevocable, that once the contract is signed, that after that nobody could withdraw from that contract. And sovereign power is inalienable and it's indivisible, right? Nobody could snatch the sovereignty from sovereign, and nobody could share the sovereign powers with sovereign, right? Once the contract is signed, it's a permanent contract, and the sovereign become the final and absolute powerful authority in a state. Signing the social contract create a relationship between Commonwealth and people, and all people agree to obey the sovereign. Sovereign was not party to the contract. The authority of sovereign was final, irrevocable, inalienable, and indivisible. Thank you for joining, or thank you for watching this clip. Please do not forget to like this clip, and if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do subscribe to our channel, and do not forget to share this clip with other friends as well. Thank you once again for watching. Please do not forget to subscribe and share this clip to other friends as well. Thank you for joining. Take care. Goodbye.